Good morning, guys. I hope you're having a great day so far. So today we're going to start with a little review. So hopefully by this point in the school year, you know what an FRQ is. FRQ stands for Free Response Question. And the AP test this year will be composed of 2 FRQs. This is directly from the College Board website. It says, students will have 25 minutes to read and respond to question 1, and then 5 minutes to upload their response. After uploading the response to question 1, students will have 15 minutes to respond to question 2, with 5 additional minutes to upload their response to question 2. Once their response to question 1 has been submitted, they cannot go back to it. So what that's saying is, so there's going to be 2 FRQs, one of them will be 25 minutes, the other one will be 15 minutes, and you have 5 minutes for each of those to make sure that the submit button goes through. And once you finish an FRQ, you can't go back to it. So once you finish question number 1, you can't go back to it. So with FRQs, normally you have a no stimulus, a 1 stimulus, and a 2 stimulus question. This year you'll have a 1 stimulus and a 2 stimulus. Stimulus are pictures, maps, charts, or graphs. So it's a visual, right, that goes along with the question. So both the questions this year will have a stimulus. So question 1, this will be 55% of your score. It's a 2 stimulus FRQ. You'll have 25 minutes to do it, 5 minutes to upload it, and it will cover something or multiple things from units 1 through 5. Question 2 is 45% of your score. It's a 1 stimulus FRQ. You'll have 15 minutes and 5 minutes to submit it. So location, it will be May 12th, 2 p.m. online. If we're back at school, it'll be taken online at the school. If we're still at home, then it will be taken at home. For all intents and purposes, I want you guys to prepare like you're taking it at home though. Just in case, because that's kind of like the worst case scenario kind of thing. So probably the biggest thing is you guys need to log into my AP. If you don't remember your username and password, you need to figure that out. I told a lot of you to put it in your phones, so maybe look in your phones. I have a list that tells me the email that you used. So if you need to know the email that you used, you can shoot me an email or a message, and I can look that up and tell you that. But you need to be able to get into your account for some of the stuff that we're going to be doing for like reviewing and for like the tests. So make sure that you're able to log in. So that's the myap.collegeboard.org. And you can try apcentral.collegeboard.org, but try the myap one first. And if you don't remember your username or password, once again, I can tell you what email you used, and then you'll have to do the I forgot my username and go through that whole thing. The AP Lockdown Browser. So this is something that is newer this year. So in order to take the test, you have to have it downloaded on the computer or device that you're planning on taking the AP test on. So I want you guys to make sure that you have it downloaded and check to make sure it works well before the test. If you have a school laptop, they're going to put that on remotely because you can't download stuff onto the school lap. You can't install stuff on the school laptops, but the IT guy said that they can do that from where they're at. So if you have a school laptop, you don't need to worry about it. But if you're on like your home computer or your cell phone, right, you're gonna need to download that. I'm gonna do think for Unit 2, for review for Unit 2, it's going to be through the AP Classroom, the My AP, and I'll have it set up so you need your AP lockdown browser. So, and I'll have a video and we can go through that together if you need to know more. So let's take a look at how to answer an FRQ. Once again, this should be a review. It shouldn't be anything new. So first, you got to analyze the question, figure out what is going on. So first, read the information and the questions carefully. Since there's going to be stimulus, what is the stimulus of? What does it show? Usually there's like a little one sentence, little blurb, telling you about it. Make sure you read the title of it, make sure you read the little blurb about it, and make sure that you understand it before you start answering the questions. That's pretty important. So what does it show, right? If it's a map, usually it'll tell you like when it's from or what it's of, and it will say either at the top or it'll say something like inside that little first sentence. And then also think about what unit it would fall under. Would it go with population and migration? Would it go with our political unit, right? Because once you start thinking about the unit that it goes along with, you might start remembering, oh yeah, we talked about this, and that goes along with that. And, and it'll help you kind of get the ball rolling when you're answering these questions. This was question number 3 from, I think this was a 2018 test. So we have 2 stimulus. It's a 2 stimulus question, right? So first, right, this question pops up. Okay, how am I going to answer it, right? So I see there are 2 pictures. They're maps. One says Europe 1980. The other says Europe 2013. So now I know that these are maps of Europe, right? And they're from different years, right? We have 1980 versus 2013. If I'm taking a look at it, I can also notice that some of the lines of these countries are drawn differently. Okay? So let's read the question. As shown in the maps, international boundaries in Europe changed considerably from 1980 to 2013. Okay, yeah, I see how the map shows that, right? Nationalism and supranationalism were 2 geographical processes that changed the number and function of those boundaries. Okay. So we're looking at boundaries in Europe in 1980 to 2013. We're looking at how they changed, and we're looking at nationalism and supranationalism. So 3A, identify one geopolitical event that initiated change in the number of international boundaries in Europe between 1980 and 2013. So, right, we're looking for one event that would cause change in these boundaries between 1980 and 2013, right? So, right, if you're looking at these boundaries, okay, so let's say I know what Germany looks like, right? So 2013, that looks like Germany, but 1980, Germany split, right? So then you would have to use, right, some of that previous knowledge, or maybe like some of your other Eastern European countries, like Latvia or Estonia. It's like, oh yeah, Latvia and Estonia in 1980, they're part of the USSR, right? In 2013, they're their own countries. So you could say the fall of the Soviet Union would be one geopolitical event that initiated change. Okay, that's a pretty straightforward one. Explain how nationalism can eliminate an international boundary. Describe an example from the map shown, right? Explain how nationalism can create new international boundaries. Describe an example from the map shown. Right, so a lot of times with these stimulus questions, so, identify something, right? So see something that's going on in that data that they've given you, and then pull it together and give an example. And then we have some explains, right? And pulling it back to those stimulus. So something that's really important with stimulus is if you can talk about the stimulus, right? Something going on in those maps, something going on in the charts, whatever they give you, that's good. That means you're on the right track. So try and pull in examples, right, that deal with those as much as you can. And sometimes they'll ask for a specific example, right? Sometimes they won't, but it's always good to give more examples. As you're going through, it's a good idea to organize and create like a rough outline. Like, okay, so I'm going to give a little definition about this, and I'm going to give the example, and I'm going to do a couple sentences explaining the example, right? And this is in your head. It's like, okay, how am I going to do this? How am I going to put it together? And then also with organization, make sure you label which questions and what letter you're answering. So if you're answering question 3, letter C, make sure you put a 3C, right? So we know what you're answering. Another thing, pack in as much information as you can, right? If you have some examples, be thorough with your examples. Say, this is my example. This is why it's an example. This is why it shows what you're asking, right? So on here, right, identify one geopolitical event. So one geopolitical event that initiated change in the number of international boundaries in Europe between 1980 and 2013 was the fall of the Soviet Union in the 1990s. This is an example of a geopolitical event because the Soviet Union fell and other countries were able to oh man, I'm having a mind blank thing right now. Other countries were able to use their ethnicities and nationalism to become their own countries, right? Use examples to prove what you're talking about. So it'd be like, okay, an example within that example would be Estonia. So when the Soviet Union fell, Estonians were able to band together and create their own country, Estonia. Okay. You only have a short amount of time, right? 25 minutes on the one, 15 minutes on the other. So keep that in mind when you're writing stuff. So give me good examples, but also, right, keep in mind that time crunch. Kind of the nice thing about being able to type this FRQ versus handwriting it is you can, as long as you're in the same question, as long as you're still in question 1, you can go and add a couple more things without having to like cross stuff out, if that makes sense. So that is one nice thing that you can go and then read back through it and you can clarify and add more things in there if you need to. Okay, so additional resources on the Canvas page. So if you go to the Canvas page for today, sorry, I should have had it pulled up. You should just be able to hit the press start and it'll go there, but I haven't linked it yet, so I have to go the long way around the all pages, and it is April 8th FRQ review. So slides, video, additional resources. So this is an article for FRQs, or if you didn't like my video and you want a different teacher. So this one is titled Writing the Killer FRQ. And then this one is actually put out by AP company, right? And it goes through each unit and it's like a little review unit. So those would be really good to go through as well. Your assignment today is to look at these release examples from 2019 and 2018. So look at them and then go through them and think to yourself, okay, what makes them good? And then you're going to add to a discussion. So if we take a look at this 2019 one, using the little PDF viewer, that's the little magnifying glass in the paper right here, so you can preview the document. And it might take a minute because I think it's like 50 pages long. But these are, I might pull it up on this side. Well, maybe not. Anyway, it's going to go through and it's going to show you some, so the questions from the FRQs in previous years, and then it has like their grading scale, and it has student examples that they thought were especially good. So they're really great to be able to look at and say, like, okay, well, why did they think that these were really good, right? Why did the readers think that it was really good? Why did they put them in here? Take a look at the organization. Take a look at the words that they use. How are they rephrasing the questions? How long is it, right? So keep those things in mind as you're looking through, and then you're going to add it to the discussion. My internet's slow because everyone's working from home, so that's the thing. But yeah, if you have questions about that, please let me know. And yeah, definitely take a look at these additional resources, especially this YouTube playlist. I think that will be really beneficial for you guys. So I hope you have a wonderful day. And yeah, see you later.